Welcome to the Chrissie, Sam and Brownie podcast.
I would thought.
Swan's eating cookies because we had a guy who had Brownie is too. It's just us.
Just you and I, but that's fine. We can talk about. We can start. We can start at the end because the end we finished with MJ, the cookie man, half man, half cookie.
New Zealand bought 30 boxes of cookies to take him back to New Zealand. Didn't declare him paying.
Full disclosure,
crunch, Ronnie.
They're so good. Full disclosure, he wouldn't have been on the show unless he was from New Zealand, because I have a thing for that accent. I could listen to it all the time, and when I saw him, I realised what he would sound like, and I just wanted to hear it.
Tony
There's
Martin.
Full disclosure.
Tony Martin popped in. Jock Zonfrillo popped in. We had him some hard-hitting questions.
Sam, you're on. How have you been paying attention?
One of the greats.
Did you say anything stupid that didn't make the edit last night?
None of my stuff got up, so I gave it to you today.
Also, for some reason, lettuce is worth more than gold at the moment.
What?
Here's a gotcha moment. How much is a lettuce worth? I know you haven't shopped for yourself for years. You've got people that do that for you, Sam.
A lettuce currently, I would have thought an iceberg lettuce is $3.99. Higher?
Double and more. Up to $11 or $12. I paid $7 for one. Yeah.
For an iceberg lettuce?
For an iceberg lettuce.
Yeah, well, they might want to... I know it's a powerful lettuce lobby.
It is.
But they want to be careful, by the way. They might price themselves out of the market. People don't care that much. People don't need it. People don't need you that much, mate.
No, they don't.
They'll find alternatives, won't they? Hello, Rocket.
Rocket.
Hello.
Yeah.
You better lift its game, Rocket.
We play CSB Idol. Jock Zonfrillo comes in and plenty more. Enjoy the podcast.
I want an argument too.
Okay, yep. That
Finally.
too.
Well done.
Chrissie, Sam and Brownie.
The podcast.
We really thought Big John was going to miss the opener.
I could not miss you. I could not be in here, though, to see you. Beautiful faces. How are you, Dino?
10 out of 10. Where the hell you been, man?
I've just been in there. We've been looking at the Friday night. Kevin Sheedy's gone bonkers.
What do you mean?
In the Herald Sun today. Well, he's just blowing up at the AFL for the old drug saga. Just continues on. But Essendon's 150 years old this Friday night. So just talking about the football with Jackie Charles out the back.
Very nice.
Just a real boring story.
What? Sorry, so Sheeds brought up drugs for no reason.
Well, no, Sheed said, he's got... It was all in reference to James Hirds coming back to Essendon on Friday night for their big battle against Carlton. That's exciting. But in the meantime, he said what a disgrace it was the way James Hird and others were treated at the Essendon Football Club during the drug saga. So I was just reading about that rant, and then I thought, hang on a minute, that sounds as if it's top of hour. It's time to start our breakfast show.
Ask Browny's coming up later, asking about anything, including Kevin Sheedy.
Yes.
Tony Martin in. Jock Zonfrillo's coming in. And is he got a book or something? Because he's a real fun guy.
He has got a book, yes. He's doing a second round of publicity because the first load was in COVID, so we didn't really dig in. But we're going to ask him all the stuff that you've wanted to ask a chef, but have never had the opportunity.
Jonathan was vindicated whilst having a fight with his daughter, so he has to brag on radio, obviously.
Thank you.
Yep.
Chrissie, Sam and Brownie.
WhatIf.com is all about helping Aussies make the most out of every holiday. And now's the time to unapologetically holiday bigger and better than ever before.
Jump online or on the What If app and book your getaway today.
What if it's Aussie for travel?
On Over 100, it's Chrissie, Sam and Brownie. Why the hell has Adam Sandler got a black eye?
Well, have a listen on Good Morning America, Swanee, which is like our Today Show.
Yeah.
Over there, hosted by, it's actually a former NFL player. I can't remember his name, Michael Strahan. He's a big boy. He had Adam Sandler on as a guest, and it was weird because he walked in and he's got this raging black eye, Swanee, with a bit of a cut under his eye, and you think, geez, what's happened here?
Yeah.
Bit of a movie stunt. He's been on a blue.
Yes.
Ran into a door handle. Who knows what's happened, Swanee?
I was in bed in the middle of the night. You know how they tuck in your sheets at the bottom? Somebody tucked in the sheets too much. I had my phone in the middle of the bed. I kicked my feet up to untuck it. The phone went flying, hit me in the head. I refused to acknowledge it. I felt blood. I said, there's something going on, but I got to sleep. Kept sleeping, woke up, and then I said...
That's the most elaborate...
It looks so cool. When I'm on the streets of New York, I see people going, oh, okay. He likes to fight, that guy.
He does. It looks like he's been in a dust-up.
Does it look tough?
It sort of does, but it's not like a mat. It's not like his eye's shut, but there's a black eye. But then there's a cut under his eye as well. Like he's been doing a boxing stunt or something like that.
The phones are surprisingly hefty.
Yeah, they are.
I remember when Peg was a baby and she was fast asleep in her cot, and I had the phone with the torch on, and then I dropped it on her head.
Really?
Yes, and it really hurt
Bad
her.
parenting, I would have thought, Christine
Very
Swan.
bad.
How old was she at the time?
Tiny baby, 4 months.
Swanee, when did you get a black eye?
I was playing softball and I was distracted and I was looking to the left and a softball hit me right in the eye. The only thing that stopped it from bursting the eye was my cheekbone and eyebrow.
The socket, if you will.
The socket. The socket was the only thing that stopped it. And it hit me square in the eye and then, popped off. The next day, I got a huge black eye and then it spread into the other
Really?
eye. Yeah. And then it got all
look
dusty
tough.
like moth's wings.
All right.
It was weird. It's a weird
Did
thing.
it hurt? It absolutely hurts, doesn't
It
it?
really hurt, yeah.
I remember my one was when I had too many beers, Dino.
Yeah.
And my dickhead mate, Muggsy,
Yeah.
tackled me off the balcony on slab day, of course, and I landed in the garden bed and smashed my eye, Swanee. Looked like I'd been in a biking accident. Well, that's at least what I told everyone.
Yes.
And had this big black shiner. Eye was shut. Everything.
Really?
And the worst thing is, too, Swanee, then when you got to come up with a bullshit excuse as to how it actually happened.
Nobody believes you.
No one believes you.
No.
Like, you can't roll with the story. I was 23 beers in and I got tackled off a balcony by a mate.
And also, who's going to believe on slab day
Yep.
that, you haven't got up to no good?
The biggest black eye I've ever seen was on Rocky. When Rocky was at Mickey's deathbed and his eyes are huge.
He was too.
And
No doubt.
if you just feel the moment, actually. You can almost hear the black eye, can't you?
He's speaking through his black eye. That's
Yeah.
why you can't understand him.
Yeah.
What is he doing?
Powerful moment.
Mate, his jaw wasn't broken. It's not making sense, Rock.
a good
Give us a
point.
call, 13 24 10. Bizarre ways you've got a black eye, just like Adam Sandler. Give us a call, 13 24 10. Got plenty of prizes. Who we got here? Keely. How are you, Keely? How'd you get a black eye? Weird.
Hi, I'm good, thank you. I work with kids, and I was changing some nappies one day, and one of them didn't want their nappy changed and kicked me in the eye.
Really?
And a big black
Yeah.
eye for you.
Massive black eye, swollen shut. It was a kick with the heel.
Wow.
Heels, that's a powerful kid. How old was it?
Yeah. 2.5.
Yeah,
Yes.
they've got some heft,
don't
absolutely.
Yes.
Kelly,
Yeah.
we've got a $100 Woolies voucher for you and
Oh, thank you.
a Mingles hamper. They're so delicious, these flavours. The
Everyone's-
guacamole is amazing.
Wigging out over this seasoning. Mingles seasoning. You got $150 worth. Transform your dinner from bland to grand with Mingles healthy spice blends and salsas.
Yes.
Righto, Chris. So, how'd you get a bizarre black eye, mate?
When I was about 14, 15, we were playing what we used to play night footy and running around the oval, and I've gone to the mark and I was a little bit close to the goalpost, and as I jumped, smacked straight into the goalpost, flat on my back, out unconscious, and regained consciousness about 30, 40 seconds later, and within about 20 minutes, my eye was completely swollen shut and purple.
Yes.
That is magnificent, Chris. I wish we had footage of that.
Chris, did you sound like this afterwards? Is that familiar to you, brother?
Yeah, only from watching Rocky, but I don't know how anyone could sound that bad.
Good
Well,
question.
Chris, you wouldn't have sounded that bad because you were asleep at the base of the goalpost. Everyone's standing around laughing at you.
That was a good point, especially when I got home. Dad said to me, "Have you been out fighting again?" I said, No. I hit a goalpost, and he still didn't believe
A
me.
bit punchy in your younger days, Chris. My old coach, Lee Matthews, remember famously crashed into the goalpost. However, he snapped the goalpost. Unlike Chris, Lethal got the better of the goalpost.
That footage is unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. Have you ever seen that, Swanee?
I think I
The
have.
post snaps in half at Windy Hill.
Extraordinary.
Lethal.
Hey, Chris, you're off to the Elvis movie. It looks unbelievable. Elvis, only in cinemas, June
It
23.
does look good.
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Go away, Melissa. How are you, Melissa?
Good, Brownie, you?
Right. How'd you get the black eye?
Well, doing a good deed at the school fete. So here I was. It was hit the teacher with a sponge, fully loaded sponge, and I thought, I'll protect my eyes, wear one of those big snorkel masks. Kid hits me fair square in the middle of the eyes and hits the mask in the wrong spot. Black eye.
No good.
Really? So that's like a game. Like you're the clown out the front with you, and kids got prizes for hitting you in the face.
Yeah.
It's a great game. That's a great game. Well, I remember at school once we had, that booth where the teacher sits above the pool of
The
water.
pool
and
of
you-
water, yeah, that's
you
right.
hit the
dunk
thing.
tank.
Yeah,
Dunk
dunk tank.
tank.
Melissa, did you carry on like a pork chop straight after to really make the kid feel super guilty?
No. They were laughing more than I was, and I was just stunned. And then I was godparent for my, obviously, for my niece over the weekend. So here I was trying to take photos on the opposite side because it was just started to come across both eyes.
Oh,
so,
it's fresh. It's fresh, Melissa.
$100 Woolies voucher and $150 worth of Mingle seasoning so you can bury that trauma, transform your dinner.
That's a great prize.
Yeah, from bland to grand with Mingle's healthy spice blends and sauces. Radio's a wacky industry.
Absolutely.
And our old boss got everyone in the basement here, right, at Nova.
Yeah.
And ordered, I think, 60 kilos worth of cake, right? Various cake. And got everyone in hazmat.
Is that soup cans?
No, Lou. And got everyone in hazmat suits for a giant food fight. This is for real, in the basement, where we do our workouts. And to kick it off, she asked me to throw the first piece of cake. So I hurled this brick of cake at Lou. Black eye.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
It was awful.
What was in the cake?
It was just sponge cake with heaps of cream, but I woofed it.
So you really launched into
It
it.
was a cake. It's a food fight.
It's a fox tank as
It's a
well.
fox tank.
Oh, you are, mate, strong.
It's wild.
That's a good way to get a pay rise, Dino.
Mate.
There's so much about that story that I need to
I
ask
know.
questions
Yes.
about. Bizarre.
Michelle would enjoy a drink, I reckon. How'd you get a black eye, Michelle?
I actually was sitting here going, oh my goodness, I've had a few black eyes actually. Footy days always heaps of black eyes, but one very funny one I laughed at myself was, yes, I had a few bevies with some mates and we were wrestling as you do, and I copped a nasty elbow to the eyeball, but I didn't realise I had a black eye. Of course, you know, when you've had a few bevies, you wake up the next morning and look through the mirror and I went, oh my goodness. And of course, having to try to explain that to my family was very, very funny.
It's embarrassing, Michelle. Yeah, what about a bit of self-control?
Brownie, like you, it's never going to happen.
No.
Good point.
No, some people have that gift. You do not, Michelle.
Ever wondered what happens in the studio? Check out Chrissie, Sam and Brownie on Instagram.
My name is Osher Ginsberg. Melbourne. This is Chrissie, Sam and Brownie Ideal.
Just like Idol, but totally different.
Totally different. We have a robot that spits out a word. Then you guys have to buzz in with your damn names and start singing a song straight away containing said word.
It was a hot competition last week. Juggernaut.
Good. Okay, they're the buzzers. Yes. And just to get everyone up to speed, Brownie often buzzes in and just dicks around.
Yes.
No, I don't. Last week I was on fire.
Well,
very
Matt,
annoying.
Chrissy's playing for you, Matt.
Excellent. Good luck, Chrissie.
Mate, I'm going to win this for you. What are we playing for, by the way?
Oh, the winner's going to get a family pass to the Winter Wonderlights in Sovereign Hill.
Oh, my God, the best ever, Matt.
Excellent.
You'll love it. You'll love it.
Cameron, meet John. John, meet Cameron.
G'day, John. How are we, mate?
G'day, Cameron. How are you, brother? I'm ready to go for you, mate.
Where's
Excellent.
Preswick? Where's Preswick, Cat?
It's actually near Ballarat. Near Sovereign Hill.
Interesting.
Oh, Cam.
You better win for him, man.
Have you had a coffee at L'Espresso there in the city of in the city of Ballarat?
I have, yeah, quite a few years ago, though. I haven't done that for a while.
Oh, you've got to go back. It's unbelievable.
I mean, it's
You
just
like that
coffee,
place?
isn't it?
No, it's really good.
It's different.
And
Another level of
great
coffee.
cronuts.
Here we go.
Crazy.
Crazy. I'm crazy for feeling so lonely.
Yeah.
I'm crazy.
I can't think of any
The
crazies.
great Patsy Cline.
Jeez, I wouldn't have got that.
Almost deserved 2 points for that.
Thank
Did.
you,
Well done,
Dean.
Swanee.
Thank
Good
you.
voice.
Shake.
Juggernaut.
There he is.
Yes.
There he is.
I gotta shake, rattle and roll. I gotta shake, rattle and roll. I gotta shake. That's all I know. Shake, rattle and roll. But that's a win.
Brother.
Thank you.
But that's a win.
That's all I know, but that's a win. That's all
good,
you
mate.
need to know, John.
Is that the great chubby checker?
Oh, who it is.
Dunno.
Shake that.
Mate, I didn't
Yeah,
think you were going
it's
to go
twist.
for shake, rattle, and roll. I think everyone goes shake it off for that one.
Yeah.
Well done, my friend.
Thank you.
Round 3.
Bad.
Juggernaut.
Juggernaut again. Juggernaut again.
She could tell I was bad. I'm bad to the bone. Bad to the bone. Bad to the bone.
Yeah, all right. I mean, it became a song.
It did.
But I think the opener was a made-up lyric.
Yeah.
She could tell I was bad.
No, I think that's part of it.
Okay,
yeah.
sure.
No, it's
The
not.
bad to the bone. Check those lyrics.
Yeah, I'll check them. 2-1, here we go.
I've checked them. They're not it.
Angels.
Suck it up.
Yes, Chrissie.
Angels brought me here.
My manager's a dick.
My manager is living high on the hog. What a great word is embezzlement.
Embezzlement's a great word.
Here we go.
Just know what happens to you.
Yeah, that's true.
Girls.
For the win, Chrissie.
Jesus!
Need us.
Girls.
Yes.
Bit of David Lee Roth.
Oh, boy, that was good stuff. Hey, Matt in... where are you from, Matt?
Matt in Woorialloc, you are
Well
off
done.
to Sovereign Hill.
Ah, very nice.
Please, Matthew, get a photo in the period costumes, which, in my humble opinion, is the best tourist attraction in the world.
I got one of them done years ago for primary school.
You've got to get it done again,
No one
Matt.
cares about your story, Matt.
I do, Matt. A family pass to the Winter Wonderlights in Sovereign Hill.
How rude.
Winter Wonderlights at Sovereign Hill, June 25 to July 17. Book now at wintersovereignhill.com.au.
I wouldn't have picked you for a sore loser, John.
Sorry, Cameron. I did
Cameron.
my best.
Oh,
I was
mate,
hot
you
today.
did well.
Hey, Cameron, to be honest, we'll give you a pass as well, brother.
Ah, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
You'll love it, Cam.
This is the Chrissie, Sam and Brownie podcast.
Good morning, Melbourne. Chrissie, Sam and Brownie on Nova 100. What if? WOTIF. Go there. It's Aussie for travel. Book a holiday.
Have you noticed how expensive fruit and veg is at the moment? It's very easy not to pay attention. Like, you just go, I have to buy this anyway. I'm not even going to look at what it costs. But I paid $7 for a lettuce the other day.
It's unbelievable.
That's
Talk
a lot.
that it's in some places over $10 for a lettuce.
$11 or $12 for a lettuce.
I haven't been paying too much attention because we grow a lot of it at home, Swanee.
There you go.
But I did see
You're a smart man.
capsicum.
Yeah.
It was really expensive the other day.
Yes.
And because I only noticed it because I looked and realised my capsicums are nearly cooked.
Yeah,
nearly
right.
done. I thought I'm going to have to buy a capsicum. Then I realised how expensive it was.
Green beans, which I don't eat a huge amount of green beans, but they are good in my tuna niçoise.
Oh, yes.
$25 a kilo.
Jonathan, you said capsicum 3 times. And
Capsicum.
I can't move on until you say
Did
capsicum.
you know that there's no N in capsicum?
Capsicum.
Thank
yeah,
you.
but I think it's just the way I said it. Yeah, I realise that, Swanee.
Yeah.
I do know how to
Some
spell.
people don't know. No, some people don't know that it's
Capsicum.
spelled- Yeah, it's capsicum.
Instead of capsicum.
Yeah.
Will this madness end?
Well, I don't know, but the madness is continuing. Someone's filmed women at a supermarket, and it's divided TikTok, so you know it's good. Women are at the supermarket with a trolley, and what they're doing around the iceberg lettuces, which personally, I don't want to lead the witness.
Right.
They're taking the outer leaves off all of the lettuces and putting it in their trolley.
Really?
So they're taking it away for free.
It's thievery.
Is it, or is it a community service? Because when I buy lettuce, I always take the outer leaves off and I leave them there.
True.
I never take them home.
really?
Yeah, they take up too much room. Or I either get it home and you take the outer leaves off because they're harder.
Is that an accepted
They're hard.
practice? Is that like eating grapes from a bunch of grapes?
Which is essentially not an accepted practice, but I do it because I'm lawless.
Well, I didn't know it wasn't accepted practice. I've
I'm
been
all-
doing it for the best part of 40 years.
Me too. Sample before you buy.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it. So I think that what they're doing is a community service. People have lost their minds, which is easy to do when you're paying, upwards of $7,
That's crazy.
$10, $11 for a lettuce. And I can tell you how easy it is to lose your mind because I lost my mind over a lettuce the other day. I spent $7 on it. First of all, I had to weigh up whether or not my children deserved a $7 lettuce.
What was the answer?
So I'm standing in the grocery store going, do those bastards deserve this? And then I remembered, I can't make the tortillas without it.
Yep.
There's no point in having a tortilla without the crispy lettuce. So I purchased it.
I could get away with it with my kids because not often the lettuce goes in there.
Really?
Oh, yeah, it gets left behind.
I like them to have something that's grown out of the ground at some point.
Its only value is its crunch.
I know, I love lettuce. Some people hate lettuce. I love lettuce. I could eat lettuce just as it is. I love it. So I have the lettuce and I take the outer leaves off, and there were quite a few, dark green, inedible. And I don't want them in my house because then I've got to deal with them in my house. So I leave them in the shop, take the lettuce home. Well, Leo, who's been watching me shop since he was a baby, knows that when you get a whole lettuce out of anywhere, you take the outer leaves off, right? But he doesn't realise, A, that the lettuce is $7, and B, I've already de-leafed it at the store. So he's in the kitchen and he's tearing in proper Leo fashion.
He's de-leafing it himself.
He's de-leafing it. A, he's de-leafing it when it doesn't need to be de-leafed, and B, he's de-leafing too much.
Like 20 cents a piece.
No, more. So I see it out of the corner of my eye, and I fly over like a dementor.
Yeah, like Clint Eastwood in The Line of Fire.
Yeah.
Yes.
Throwing yourself in front of the bullet.
Exactly. And I go, I've already de-leafed it, don't touch it. And he jumps in the air because I terrified him.
Yes, so you should have too.
And I just said, that was $7. I've become that mother that quotes how much things cost.
Oi, Mum. Oi, it's just lettuce, Mum.
Oi, Mum. Oi, Mum, I was doing the right thing. What are you doing?
Well, that kid's slept in a bed of gold since his birth, Swanee. So.
Correct, and will continue to do so.
Chrissie, Sam and Brownie.
The podcast.
Morning, Melbourne. Apologies, Samuel. I didn't get to give you a little kiss on your clean-shaven cheek.
It is clean shaven. Good morning, Melbourne.
It is, because I was making a bulletproof coffee in the kitchen.
Get it done. It's tradition.
Come around. It's tradition / superstition.
As Sam approaches the swan and they kiss gently.
Good morning, darling.
And return to their natural chairs.
Hey, have you been paying attention last night? It was an absolute hoot. How
Really?
gorgeous is
Watched it all, did you?
I watched enough of it, yeah.
I thought it was fine.
So it's the opening
Not
credits.
a lot of my stuff.
You looked handsome as hell on it.
Not a lot of my stuff getting up, John, but anyway, that's fine.
It's fine.
We'll be talking to the working dog boys after the show.
I don't think they've got my number, by the way. But no, it was Ursula, Luke McGregor, Alex Ward. It was great.
It was
very exciting. I was very pumped to talk to Liz Watson, the captain of the Diamonds, Brownie.
How was
of course,
she?
It's just impressive. Do you know what I mean? They're off to the Commonwealth Games and the Aussie women for the netball, and
Birmingham.
But yes, not far away, Swanee, as a netballer yourself.
Yeah,
still doing that?
No.
What a short-lived career that was.
How many games?
That was unbelievable.
The games are on so late.
Not all
the
of them.
time. They are.
Oh, really?
It's the weirdest thing. 8:45.
It's too late for
Might have
mums.
moved them once
I'm
you
in bed.
once you joined the team, Swanee. They might have just moved the whole
We're playing
fixture.
for semi-finals, so we're not nothing.
Oh, they might bring you the gunfire. They may bring you back.
Yes.
I would like to get on the court again, but I can't do
I
it
just
so
just swan in for the granny.
Yes.
Just come on and just swing in
Yes,
late,
I
Swanee.
love that.
That's not bad. I'll
Tony-
work on a special costume.
You're like the Clark Keating of the Brisbane Lions. We used to bring Clark in just for finals, Swanee, and he'd dominate.
Call me Clarky from now on.
Okay. It's Clarky, Sam and Brownie. And Brownie had an argument with his daughter and won, so he's going to brag about it and we're going to hear about it later.
This is the Chrissie, Sam and Brownie podcast.
Morning, Melbourne. Before we get to Jonathan Brown versus his 12-year-old daughter, time for some... Oh, Mr. Fuji's
I want some tropical stuff.
John, you're up as a current day football pundit. Messages, the big story is messages between Demons coaches, Melbourne, and players have been savaged in text messages between Kate Roffey, the current president of Melbourne, Swanee, and Glenn Bartlett, the former president. John, is that right? So far, I've got it right?
I don't think between the players. I think you may need to reread that. Start again.
Melbourne Demons coaches and players have been ravaged in text message between those two.
There you go. Not towards the players.
So conversations between Roffey and Bartlett shed new light on the inner turmoil that had plagued the clubs in the months prior to their march to the premiership, which I think that's the most important, really. That's the most important bit, Swanee. Just led to a premiership.
But
Why
anyway...
are they going back over ancient history that clearly doesn't matter
It's
anymore?
a good point. The emergence of these text messages, John. Why they come to light now, and why are they relevant? It's one of a good question. Who cares?
This all comes to light when there's a defamation case going on. So Glenn Bartlett, the former president, he's launched a defamation case, I suppose, and he would be revealing texts and emails that have gone on behind the scenes to prove his case. So that's how it all comes out. And the easy way, it's all boring stuff because they won a premiership, so that supersedes everything else. Trumps everything. But the interesting thing, the current president, Kate Roffey, has been able to paint herself as a unifying figure, and, she doesn't throw any shade towards her team publicly. Well, she's been outed as, being very critical behind the scenes in these text messages.
Right.
But,
After a defeat to Port Adelaide, Swanee, in 2020, she sent a text message. Absolutely appalling, no excuse. Something's not working within the system. Time for a check. She just sounds like
true.
Well, that just sounds like a supporter who watched her team lose and just punches out a text.
Absolutely.
Who cares?
So you could argue potential to get offside with the playing group. To say, oh, hang on, she's a bit two-faced. She's all nice to us and then publicly speaks well. But I think the players are smart enough to realise that they were going through a pretty ordinary period in 20 and 21 that... Yeah, they would be getting shade thrown upon them by board members. Like that, it's not all nice.
Shade. It's well-placed concern.
Hey,
exactly.
just as the rank and file, as hoi polloi of a football.
Hoi polloi. Welcome to the show.
Thank
good
you.
to see you.
Football community. Fans don't care about defamation cases between executives.
No,
they don't care at all.
They do not care. Absolutely. All they care about is premierships, and Melbourne won a premiership.
I reckon that's right. In news that's kind of connected, Swanee, Apple has unveiled a new feature that will allow iPhone users to edit and unsend regrettable messages.
Hey! Really?
Well done on putting those two together, Jack. Thank you. In the moments after an iMessage is sent, users will be able to click either the edit or undo send buttons to modify their messages, Apple has revealed at the annual conference in California.
You might want to try that with that dick pic you sent me last week.
Undo.
Jeez.
Hang on.
That wasn't my dick.
How long?
Jesus, I got loose early. What happened there?
Whose was it? I'm just going to ask.
No, I cannot ask. I cannot tell. I cannot tell. I've got a few to choose from if you want me to pass one on.
Within seconds, though.
Yeah.
Well,
you can't. You don't have all day.
No, you need them for when you're very drunk and you're sending messages.
Exactly.
And then you wake up in the morning
6 hours later.
And you're looking through with one eye going, oh my God, what have I done? That's when you need to delete them.
I think at the very least it's a good sign that we're moving in the right direction. Yeah, man, like this is even if it's a baby step, this system will be fine-tuned and modified and get better and better.
Where can I sign on?
Can you cancel all phone calls between 3 and 4 a.m?
Your phone should have a kind of a virtual club lock on it, after about 2 a.m.
That's right.
You can't get through this.
You do have it now. You do have a virtual club lock on the new phones. It's called Focus.
Really?
Yeah. And you can just put it like every night. I hit focus and I go sleep, and that means that it's the virtual club lock. Nobody can get in.
Oh. Well, the old do not disturb has been changed.
Pretty much,
there is no text message. If you had a look at all the text messages you'd sent in your life after 2 a.m., one of them would be useful. All the others,
yes,
mate, could have done without.
Not even
a lot of regret around those.
Having said that, I do love it when you guys are out doing something and I miss a call at that time. I think, I can't wait to see them. They've really gotten loose.
It often means there's a juicy voicemail waiting for you.
Yeah, it's the best.
Nothing more romantic though than that text message at about 2:30 to a girl that just meet you at the front at Stumps.
Yeah, or what you doing?
You up?
You up? Yeah.
Rescue rats with backpacks. Backpacks. Rescue rats with backpacks trained to sniff out earthquake survivors.
That's cute.
That's the cutest thing rats have ever done.
I want to see that. That's got Stuart Little all over it. I love little rodents in outfits. It's one of my favourite things.
The problem is that it terrified the survivors if they were down there.
Yeah, they've been trained to be sent into earthquake debris wearing tiny little backpacks.
Oh. Yeah.
And so that the rescue teams can talk to survivors. 7 rats have been trained so far, taking 2 weeks to get them up to speed. Geez, they're quick learners.
Absolutely.
They are.
I couldn't get it out of my head, though, the scene from The Bone Collector. Those rats came towards me and I was stuck.
Reference.
Well.
But these rats are rescue rats. They'd come in going, now don't panic. I'm here to help you.
Yeah.
Put their little pink paws up.
unlike those other rats.
This was actually from the weekend. I just wanted to acknowledge that the new Labor ministry, Swanee, has been sworn in, and the front bench has a record 10 cabinet ministers, a record number of women that are cabinet ministers in Prime Minister Anthony Albanese's new cabinet, which is amazing. I saw a picture of it out the front with him standing there proud. And I thought that is either the front bench with 10 new cabinet ministers, or they're the women that didn't get to testify in Craig McLaughlin's trial. So I'm not sure which one, but I was assured that it's the new cabinet, and that is wonderful news, isn't
Excellent.
it? There you
That's
go.
such great news.
Up to date.
Want to see what happens in the studio? Check it out on Facebook. Follow Chrissie, Sam and Brownie.
And time now for Jonathan's fight with his 12-year-old
You
daughter.
build this up. It's not a fight. It's just
Well-
a negotiation, an agreement between me and my daughter the other day she's very, she loves her footy, loves the sport, but obviously there's great anxiety around if you're late to a game.
Yeah.
So you want to be there to your sporting event. So school footy on a Saturday morning, and I went out and I had a bit of a run. I did do my calf along the way.
That's not ideal.
But I said, Liv.
When did you get to a game? When you were playing, when did you get to a game?
2 hours.
2 hours before a game.
2 hours before a game. Yeah, that's
Why?
plenty of time to prepare.
Juniors, though.
But this is not juniors. That's
When,
right, exactly.
when Meza and Brian were taking you, what time did you?
I reckon it was probably about half an hour to an hour. Liv has to be half an hour before a game. So I said, her game, she had to be there at 10 o'clock. She said, Dad, we've got to leave at 9:30. I said, all good. So this is about 8:30. I'll go out for a run, do my things. And then I get back in the door about 9 o'clock. She's hitting me up every 2 minutes. Dad, we've got to leave.
Yeah.
We've got to leave. I said, no, Liv, we're leaving at 9:30. 10 past 9, Dad, we've got to leave. I said, Liv, 9:30 we're leaving, okay? 9:15. Dad, I said, just give me a spell. I've got to have a shower. I've got to have a little bit of brekkie. Got to make a coffee. So you know what I mean? It's just a back and forth. I know time, Swanee. I know how long it takes to get places.
I know time.
He knows time.
I know
He
time.
is, in fact, father time.
Absolutely. And I've got a very good sort of Melways in my head. I've got a good reference of time.
Where
at
were you
various
going?
parts. I was going from Camberwell to Ivanhoe. Sunday
And
morning.
you're leaving at 9:30 for a 10 a.m. game.
Exactly.
I'm with Liv.
No, that's
No
what
way,
you.
no.
way.
Mate,
That's
with
Do you
a-
know how the traffic has
cutting that way
changed?
too fine.
Way too fine. I'm with you, Sammy.
What a crock of absolute baloney. Because, if that's even a thing. I don't
Yeah,
know
it
if
is.
but is it?
It is from
There you go.
today. It's a crock of baloney.
Baloney from today.
baloney.
So a bit of back and forth. A lot of stress. All of a sudden, I'm stressed in half an hour. Like I'm in the shower, like I'm going 100 mile an hour. I hardly had time to even put the soap under the arms. Anyway, we're out the door at 9:31.
Oh, no, you're late. Now you're late.
Yeah, well, I'm late by a minute. Now, Sunday morning, Camberwell to Ivanhoe, you do that with a leg in the air in 15 minutes. Time for us. I could stop and have a coffee on the way. Anyway, so we jump in the car and we start. I said, Liv, we start driving. So we're going to have to come up with an agreement here. I'll never have you late to a sporting event as long as I'm taking you to a sport, okay? Providing...
Can't vouch for your mother, but if you're with me,
absolutely,
yes,
with
yes.
me, I
yeah,
promise.
I think this is good.
Because I can understand the anxieties of being late.
Yes.
Okay, there's nothing worse. I remember turning up at quarter time of a game once. We stuffed the time up. A lot of anxiety. So I don't want her to go through that feeling.
Quarter time.
That's right. I still kick 6, but that's all right.
No, that's all right.
So,
That's officially a bag. He
It
kicked
is.
a bag.
yeah, Christie.
Was Lee upset?
We both missed the bus. Anyway, so we're on the way, and I said we're going to have to negotiate an agreement. Otherwise, we're going to be bluing before every game. Yeah. So I said, Liv, you can remind me or let me know what time you have to be at the football. Then in my head, because I know time, I'll calibrate what time we need to leave.
I am
I'll
father
work
time.
it out. I am father time.
Yeah.
So we drive, we're going along nicely. We get to Ivanhoe with a leg in the air. Thank you very much.
Really?
9:46.
Yes, but you
On the
said
dot.
but you said that she had to be there half an hour before the game. The game starts at
The
10.
game's at 10:30. She had to be there at
Shouldn't be there at
10:20.
10.
Good parenting.
Great parenting. I turn up there clearly early. I'm not going to go and just sit there for 45 minutes and watch 12-year-old girls warm up, Swanee. Okay, I'm going to go and get myself a coffee, grab myself the paper. I'm there at 9:46. Turn up. I go, okay, Liv, there you go. Off you go. And she goes, what are you doing now? I go, well, you're getting out. You're going to warm up with your team. She goes, but no one's here yet. And I said, that's right. no one's here. Out you go. I'm going to get a coffee in the paper.
Yeah.
So I dropped her off and I drove off to the local cafe and the newsagents and bought my paper.
You win, Brownie.
Pick up your Father of the Year award on the way out.
Because I know time, Christine Swan, okay? So we've negotiated a truce. Don't tell me 15 times in 15 minutes what time we have to be there and when we have to leave.
I think a gentler thing to do, and this is what I do.
I don't know if that was negotiated, by the way. Seems like you just said, this is what's happening.
Yeah, I think a gentler thing to do, and May, I know you haven't asked for any advice, and there's nothing worse than unsolicited advice, but I'm going to give it to
let's
you.
all give it.
I think a gentler way, instead of just kicking her out in the freezing on her own.
Yeah, it was cold, wasn't it?
While she watched the highlights kick up dirt while you went and got a coffee.
You smoke them up.
What I do, when I'm right, with my considerable age and life experience versus a child, I say, okay, we're here now. What have you learnt from this? And then you get them to say, well, I've learnt that I didn't really need to ride you so hard for the thing that, that we will get there and that, blah, blah, blah. And then they've learnt the lesson without being alone.
You win, Brownie.
I think she learned a lesson.
She learned a lesson.
Didn't you reckon she just learned
She had
it?
hypothermia when the game started.
Chrissie, Sam and Brownie.
Jock Zonfrillo. He's a judge on Masterchef and currently has a must-read book out called Last Shot. Last time he was here, he made us the best jaffles we've ever had. Here's hoping he brought us something this morning. Oh, what? He hasn't?
Dog.
Yeah, he's Jock, whatever.
That's a dog act. Welcome, welcome to the studio, Jock Zonfrillo.
Thank you. Good morning.
Now, your book, I have read it, and I really enjoyed it. I've got a question for you, and I think I can ask you this because we're friends now.
Yep.
I wouldn't ask if you were just a guest doing the round, but this is something I would ask you if we were enjoying lunch at Mario's.
For example.
When this book was first released, there was a bit of controversy around it, and the polarising chef, Marco Pierre White, who you did your apprenticeship with in London, came out and said, "Oh, Jock is a very nice man, but none of this happened. He's got to, it's not even true, la la la," which I thought was a mean and untrue thing to say. Now I see he's turned up on set at MasterChef after calling you a liar, and you have to work with him. What is that like?
I think you have to question whether he called me a liar, right?
Well, he said you're a nice guy, but none of this happened.
He's on the back of the book, though, with a comment.
I know. I just don't understand the whole dynamic.
There's a real dynamic there, which is I worked for him for a long time. And when the journalist spoke to him, the journalist had, a very direct result that he wanted to achieve. So when he spoke to Marco and a bunch of other people, and Marco was quoted immediately afterwards saying, "Isn't it unfortunate how journalists continually twist your words?" So
it's another case.
I spoke to Marco the next day. Marco and I we're great mates.
Don't believe all you read.
We dinner together.
CSA.
Well, he does say in one of the comments on the back of the book, Zonfrillo climbed his way to the top of the gastronomic ladder.
Oh!
Like stepping all over Pierre White on the way, it looks like. That's what it sounds like. Just went over him.
Yeah, I think so. I think taken out of context again, Sam, that doesn't happen.
He's such a charismatic man.
He's a big unit.
Well, as a you.
He's a big unit, like really tall. So when he was in the kitchen filming MasterChef this year, we had dinner. Loz and I had dinner with him, and Loz just sort of is always a little bit kind of, Loz is
is your
6
wife,
foot.
obviously.
Yeah, sorry, she's 6 foot, and she's sort of like, he scares me. He's got this. He's got a presence,
He absolutely does have a presence. Yeah.
Like a good presence?
It is a good presence, but you're kind of slightly scared.
Yeah.
Well, that'd probably work well in a kitchen, wouldn't it? As a head chef.
That's a good point.
Anyone that's worked for him will tell you that he's just got this ability to sort of just look, and he does that. You know how like Al Pacino has that look where his head is down but his eyes are up? Yes. That's what Marco does in the kitchen, and you know what he's about to say.
Are you able to learn under such obviously you did because you worked under him for so long, but was it difficult to learn when you were terrified?
I think in those days, and even he admits it, a lot of the kitchens and the way they operated were just plain illegal. Like, you can't treat people that way. You can't, it's not nice. A kitchen that's run on fear, rather than, striving towards results, is a kitchen that eventually is unhappy and breaks up, right?
We are in the new age, though, of talking about your feelings and vulnerabilities and all these sorts of things. It's the new age in AFL football, which seems like a really macho thing to do, but these guys are opening themselves up. Is the same thing happening in kitchens all around the world?
Look, I think for me, with the book particularly, everyone sort of sees these days, they see Jock Zonfrillo, he's wearing a three-piece suit on MasterChef, and, he's a super nice guy that is just, he's a TV guy. It's like, it just wasn't like that.
Yeah.
And
no, he's a
You're like, I'm actually a total asshole.
the path of going through addiction and going through kitchens like that, and I just wanted to. So many when you have a media presence, you get asked little snippets of your story, little bits, and it almost was getting to the point where they were glamorizing the fact I was a heroin addict, and I didn't like that. For me, it was important to tell the story as it is about how bad it can actually be. I am, without question, one of the lucky ones. The normal path for a heroin addict does not have MasterChef at the end of it.
Absolutely not. And a happy relationship and beautiful children and all that. You're a miracle. It's a great book. I really, really recommend it. Before we move on to questions you've always wanted to ask, is your real name Barry?
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
I love that.
Why'd you change it?
Hazza.
Why'd you change it?
Because his name's Barry.
Go back.
One of the great names, Barry. One of the great names.
When I started in kitchens, I had a very thick Glaswegian accent. And when you're in kitchens, you're working with French people, English people, whatever. They looked at me and they're talking to me and they're like, I don't understand you. You're possibly the most Scottish person that we've ever met.
Wow.
So I got the nickname for Scottish people in Scotland by non-Scots is Jock.
Yeah.
And so I just got called Jock and it stuck.
God, it suits you so much. It suits you so much more than Barry.
Would you, in saying that though, are we allowed to call you Barry?
No. Why would you?
Does anybody?
Look, my lawyer. That's when things are getting a little bit serious. And my dad calls me Jock, and my mum's just like, oh, I'm never going to call you Jock.
By the way, what are the Jaffles I missed last time? I wasn't here last time you were here. Mortadella.
Mortadella Jaffles.
Oh, really?
They're
You're just getting rid of some stuff. We're just getting rid of some old produce.
They have green olives in. Jeez, they're unbelievable.
And a little spritz of balsamic vinegar. Very nice.
Just before we get to the thing, last show, have you done an audiobook yet? Because your voice is beautiful and soothing.
I did the audiobook. I read it personally.
Oh, yeah, well, there you go.
So there was this talk about, let's do it, well, we're going to do an audiobook. I thought, great. And they were like, so, who do you think, who should read it? And I was like,
you and McGregor.
It would be quicker for me to just read it than it would be to decide who to be me.
You got Brownie to do it.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. Listen to that.
Chapter 1.
Hey, we're very excited you're back for the third time to plug your book. Cheers. But we've got a segment. You ready?
Things you've always wanted to ask.
So obviously, the culinary world, Jock Zonfrillo, has been well represented in the history of cinema and television.
It has.
And there's there's only so many you can choose, but there's a scene in Goodfellas that I've always wanted to ask an expert about, of which you are this. There's, they go into jail. The boys go into jail, and they're talking about
slicing the garlic.
Yeah, they're talking about cooking a pasta. So this, if you haven't seen Goodfellas, this is Paulie was in charge of putting the garlic in the pasta sauce.
In prison, dinner was always a big thing. We had a pasta course. Paulie did the prep work, and he had this wonderful system for doing the garlic. He used a razor, and he used to slice it so thin that it used to liquefy in the pan with just a little oil. It's a very good system.
Yum.
Is that a good system, Jock Zonfrillo?
That's the kind of shit they pull at Mario's. You know what I'm saying? It's old school.
Yeah.
You need to, if you're shaving garlic that thin, it disintegrates.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
it's a good system.
You can stand and chop it for hours and make it really small, or you could try and make a puree with a bit of salt. That makes your garlic go green. Never do that. I see people doing that on the telly all the time. They get the garlic, they slice it, put salt on it, and then crush it with the back of a knife.
Yeah.
No. The garlic turns green. You don't want green garlic in sauce.
No, you don't.
So an effective way to do it is slice it as thinly as you can. Look, a razor blade when you're in jail looks much harder as well.
Shiv, if you
Yeah.
How good is that, man?
That's a great one.
thing. It's a good thing. It disintegrates into your sauce.
Whoa.
That's a great tip.
Boom.
Yeah, no,
How many of your fingers are? take the edge off your fingers? Is that a bit dangerous?
Apparently, if you run your finger along and the blunt side of the knife, it takes the garlic smell away.
Who told you that?
You've upset him.
Kate Lane told me that.
Have you seen Ratatouille?
Yes.
Is it a good movie?
Yeah, it is.
It is. It's so good.
I've got a couple of questions from Ratatouille. One is about bread.
Yeah.
How do you tell a good bread is without tasting it? Not the smell, not the look, but the sound, the crust, the sound. Oh, a symphony of crackle. Only great bread sound this way.
True or false?
True.
Really?
Yeah.
True.
But you can't. The problem is that you can't just go to a shop and just start cracking the bread, can you?
Good point.
Oh, I do.
He's Barry. He does whatever the hell he likes.
I've got one last one. I think Brownie wants to finish with an Under Siege question, but I just want to, because Steven Seagal was a cook in that.
He stole my role, I think.
This is about
so good in that.
This is about produce, though. Okay, this is about produce. So you just have a listen to this.
The only way to get the best produce is to have first pick of the day. And there are only two ways to get first pick. Grow it yourself or bribe a grower.
Jock Zonfrillo, getting the best produce. You either have to go out and get it yourself first, or you bribe a grower. Does bribery go in? Is corruption a part of the industry of the restaurant game?
Seems there's a link between Goodfellas and Ratatouille, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So I wouldn't call it bribing. If you're a chef with your soul, you will travel and visit all of your suppliers personally. Now, if you're a grower of vegetables and someone travels, 4 hours to come and see your farm and meet your staff and that kind of thing, that's as good as a bribe.
So it's a relationship, not a bribe.
Exactly. Get them in your pocket. You know?
Yeah.
You get the best stuff.
I do, 100%.
Absolutely. Petty Officer Casey Ryback.
In Under Siege.
Famous for using a meat cleaver. In more ways than one, it's fair to say. Have you ever had to use a meat cleaver for anything other than chopping meat?
No. Listen, if you see somebody in Glasgow walking down the road with a meat cleaver, they are not a butcher.
They might be a butcher, they're just not a real one.
Yeah. Jock, the book sounds amazing, and I'm going to get the audio book. Last Shot. It's out now. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, mate.
Do you want to see what this looks like? Well, get the visuals on Instagram. Follow Chrissie, Sam and Brownie.
Chrissie, Sam and Brownie on this rainy old day on Over 100.
You've been paying attention, is the name of the show. Jesus, funny. That was on last night anyway.
You okay?
A couple of things I learned. Well, Zonfrillo, he's such a big personality. I mean, he just leaves a
He's a lovely guy.
just rubbish behind him.
vacuum.
Exactly. Lambrusco's making a comeback.
Is it?
Yeah.
Geez, I haven't heard that for a while.
I know.
Briscoe had one for a
Well,
long
it's got
time.
it had a bit of an image problem, because it was overused in the 80s and 90s as part of sweet fizzy drinks.
What is it?
It was a cheap Italian red wine.
Booze? Hooch?
It's booze.
You would remember, but it wasn't cask. It was fancier than cask, but it was inexpensive. But it's famous for the bottles being reused in Italian restaurants as candelabras, and then you have all the melted wax downs. That's a Lambrusco bottle.
You would have had one in front of you with the wax melting down.
Yep.
And been there by yourself at 1 a.m. waiting for someone to turn up. You know what I mean? That's the one.
Yeah, loneliness, yeah.
That night the person never turned up.
Yeah, that one time.
Yeah. Just the once.
Queen's Jubilee, I didn't know who opened the show. Because you tell me that Rod Stewart was involved, you tell me that Ed Sheeran was involved. So there was a lot of musical acts involved in the Queen's Jubilee. And I thought that Johnny Diesel and the Injectors was an interesting choice. To open the whole thing.
The great Mark Lizotte.
Followed up by Puppetry the Penis. So it was a cracking start to the thing. So well done.
That'd be a good gig. Diesel and the Injectors.
Oh,
Yeah.
That'd be a great gig.
And
doing
Puppetry of the Penis.
Apparently Kevin Bloody Wilson got a berth as well. It's pretty big. How?
Prince Andrew, by the way, wasn't there. You know that he wasn't there for part of the official photo. No, because he got COVID. Dino.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So not a great weekend for Andrew. He had COVID, so he missed some official celebrations. Also, his subscription to Dolly magazine was cancelled. So it's the big two for Andrew. He's having a bad time. The Jurassic movies, Brownie. You into them?
I was at the time, absolutely. And they're making a comeback, aren't they?
There's a new one.
There's a new one.
Dominion.
Jurassic World Dominion Tokyo Drift. No, just Jurassic World Dominion is a new one. And, there it is, Dino. Good music. That'd be a Williamson number, wouldn't it?
For sure.
Richard Attenborough making a comeback in this
I don't
one.
think so. Sam Neill's playing a dinosaur in this one, so it's unbelievable. He was the first. The first time you saw Jurassic Park.
It's amazing.
Oh, it was unbelievable. To see the dinosaurs.
Yeah, man.
It was
unbelievable. And
life-changing.
also, I don't know whether it was just my age, but it was a plausible storyline.
Absolutely.
You know, I could see how the curiosity of human beings could lead to such recklessness.
And the mosquito kept the DNA in the sap.
Of course
Kept it.
they did.
And the all of a sudden, everyone's favourite dinosaur became the Velociraptor.
Yes, John.
I've never heard of the Velociraptor.
I'd never either.
She's dangerous.
I could have named someone I was into them.
Yeah.
Other than not just Tyrannosaurus Rex.
You were into dinosaurs.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Brontosaurus, Brachiosaurus, Stegosaurus.
Diplodocus.
What?
Triceratops, Diplodocus.
Yes, John.
Diplodocus.
Yeah, he's come back as a recording artist called Diplo.
Diplo, yeah.
I told you I was excited last night to mention Liz Watson, co-captain of the Diamonds. They're off in the netball.
Yeah.
I did learn that New Zealand are the Silver Ferns, we're the Diamonds.
Yes.
England are the Roses, and South Africa are the Blood Diamonds. So that's good to know. I didn't know that, Swanee, until I did that show. Finally, the largest known plant on Earth has been discovered off the coast of Western Australia. Seagrass, 180 kilometres long. That's it. That's the biggest plant on Earth discovered off the coast of Western Australia.
Well, growing from the ground, 180...
Underwater.
In the water,
yeah. In the sand, 180 kilometres.
No, not up, along.
Long.
Wow.
It's big seaweed.
It is a big seaweed.
That's the largest known plant. That's some national pride there, do you know what I mean? In all of the world. Second biggest...
I wonder if the MH370's amongst it. They might want to look.
What, the wreckage of a plane?
Well, that's where they can't find the plane, Swanee. Off the coast of WA.
Yep. Yeah, no, good point.
No, it's a very good point.
Mate, it is. That might be why they can't find it, Swanee.
Have they looked?
180 kilometre long bloody seagrass.
180 kilometres.
It's caught in the reeds.
He's got a point.
It's
plausible.
absolutely. Second biggest? Growing in Dino's roof.
Chrissie, Sam, and Brownie.
The podcast.
We were just talking in the news. Apologies, Ash. We should have been listening. We were talking about how Melbourne has not mucked around this winter. It's gone, it's winter. I've checked the calendar. It's winter, and you're getting full winter from the 1st of June. Blam. Take it. It is full winter
Yeah, no
out
entree,
there today.
Swanee. Straight into the main.
Normally Melbourne works us into it, and then it's like we're going to give you a little bit of this, and then August it's going to be freezing. But you prepared yourself. No, June 1st, bang on rain.
Actually,
freezing.
It was before June 1st. Remember the was like the 29th, and they did a couple of did a couple of warm-up shows
Absolutely.
before the main one.
A few amuse-bouches, if you will.
Playing the sexy music because in the corner of this room.
Have a look at it.
Zito Martin.
Good morning. It's great to be here. I've got a coffee. I went into the kitchen here at the station. It's always dangerous reaching in for a coffee mug because if you go back a couple of rows, you're very likely to get the mug of a show that was axed.
Yeah, that is true. What have you found in there?
I'm drinking out of a Deco Dave and Chrissie mug this morning. I don't even know what station that was on. Was that on Vega?
The Great Vega.
This is the Chrissie, Sam and Brownie podcast.
Tony Martin is in the studio.
Yes.
That's a good song. But have you got the one I asked for, Dino?
What have you got?
Absolutely. Tony Martin's in the studio.
yes.
Yeah, here it comes.
There we go.
You're busted.
Everyone always sings "You Bastard."
We did that for Tune or Not a Tune, where I played that song to Jack Charles, by the way, the youngster, and he loved it. Did you? No, you gave that a tune, didn't you?
Absolutely did.
Yeah, had to. That's a great.
He said on the proviso that we played the chorus. The verse is not a tune.
No, it's just a rattling noise.
Whatever.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that was nominated for an Academy Award, that song.
That song?
For the opening of the Cop 2.
Jeez, that sounds like a tidbit.
It does sound like a tidbit.
You're not trying to sneak him in, are you?
Second. What's going on? Have you been banned from the Tidbits?
I've been suspended for a week.
Yeah.
What did you do?
Well, Dino reckons the level of tidbits, which I don't agree with, has been mediocre.
So, the tidbit button is a sacred noise and button,
Yeah.
and it's for people to take a nugget of information to
Yes,
tell
that's
their
right.
mates at a pub. It got to the stage where chips had come up, and Brownie would go, "May I offer you a tidbit?"
Yes.
Char Grilled Charlie's has good chips.
Yeah, that's
not
not a tidbit.
It's an opinion.
I never said that. I'm
Yeah.
going to go back and get the tape. But anyway,
Out of the pool, Brownie.
His ban is lifted on June 10 at 7 to 18.
That's my birthday, so you better have something good for that
Okay.
day.
I'm going to have a Tony Martin tidbit.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
It's, you know whose birthday it is? It's me and Kyle Sanderlands. We
Oh, the big two.
Oh, there's a
share a
tidbit.
birthday.
You guys are so similar as well.
Yeah, I didn't live in a bin for a week, though.
No,
now-
you lived in a bin for 3 weeks.
That's right. I moved from bin to bin with various parents. Okay, what have I got one? I'm trying.
do you?
May I offer you a tidbit? I think this is the one I use every time.
Okay.
Did you know that the most famous 3D movie of all time, House of Wax with Vincent Price, was directed by a man with one eye? So he never got to see it in 3D. That's true. Absolutely true.
That's a tidbit, man.
I've never heard that.
His name is Andre de Toth. It's from the olden days of Hollywood when all the good directors had an eye patch. Remember that? You'll
Yes.
see a documentary. There'll be
Why
a
is
bloke
that,
with an eye
Tony?
patch. I think it was because they were in the war. You had your John Ford, your Fritz Lang. They always had an eye
The
patch.
bloke who directed a 3D movie had one eye.
It's never saw it in 3D.
House of Wax, was that remade with Paris Hilton?
Yes, it was.
Yes.
I believe on the Gold Coast.
I can only imagine what the 3D sequences involved.
That'd be unbelievable.
Boing.
Great actress, Paris Hilton. Underrated actress.
Underrated.
I actually saw the original House of Wax on television when I was a kid, and of course on TV it's not in 3D.
No.
And there's a bit in the film, I swear to you, there's a bit in the film where it's just a bloke standing outside the House of Wax with a ping pong bat with a ball on a bit of string, just batting it at the camera for 2 minutes. Now, obviously, in cinemas, that would have been startling entertainment in 1953, but like on TV in 1970s, you go, what is this? How is this a scene in a film?
I think I saw Jaws 3D.
Me too.
yeah.
That was the first 3D film I've seen. Can anybody remember their first 3D film? I remember it blowing my mind.
I don't reckon I've actually seen one at a cinema. Right. Sit down. I've done it at
Avatar,
home.
but they'd come a long way by the time Avatar came out.
Avatar.
True, yeah.
I've got one for... Okay, may I offer you a tidbit?
Another one.
Wow.
Guy I went to school with in Hamilton, New Zealand, American bloke, moved back to America, got a job at Universal Studios, and had the job of carrying the master negative of Jaws 3D across town in his car to get the prints made.
Big.
That's big.
Did he make it? Or did he have a car crash on the way?
Mate, he said it was the most terrifying trip of his life.
yeah.
It's just one bloke in a car with a movie.
Would you?
With the master
How
negative.
old were you when this occurred? Because
Well,
I imagine you
I
would
went
have
to I went to school with him in 1978, and this was like about 4 years later.
And you've always loved films. You would have been consumed with jealousy. Imagine
I was
even
already
working at Universal.
already jealous of this kid.
Yeah.
because he moved to New Zealand for like 1 year because
Yeah.
his dad had a job at aerospace.
Yes.
And my hero as a kid, and how nerdish is this, is a man called Ben Burt, who was the sound effects man on Star Wars. Because when I...
Tony.
No, listen to this, because when I was at school, they had a documentary, The Making of Star Wars, and it was the first ever making of a film. And they had the sound effects bloke, and you know what he was doing? He was walking through the countryside with a metal bolt and a tape recorder, and he's going up to those giant power pylons, and they have a bit of taut wire stretching it to the ground, and he's getting the bolt and he's hitting it, and it's going, pew! And that's the sound of all the laser guns in Star Wars. And I've gone, that's the job I want.
That was your hero, isn't it?
That was my hero. And then this
Hero.
this
Another
kid-
reminder.
Wedgie him, John.
Not all heroes wear a cape.
This kid, who I'm going to school with, the American kid, John Shen was his name,
Yeah.
moves back to California, gets a job as assistant to Ben Burt. What are the chances of that?
Son of a...
Sliding doors moment.
So
for you.
furious.
How did you go on the voodoo doll of this guy? Good? You did it well?
Here's the punch. No one ever believes this. This is true. He's working as assistant to Ben Burt. And we're getting letters from him. It's the days of letters.
Yes.
And then we get a letter and he says, I've quit my job to become a maitre d' at a restaurant.
Are you an idiot?
Because it's higher pay.
Oh, no.
And I remember thinking, even as a kid, I remember thinking, hang on, you've left the film business to get a job as a waiter. That's normally the reverse of how it works.
Yes. Have you Googled him and found out where he is now?
Oh, I think he's
He's the concierge at the spaghetti treat now.
He's doing very well. None of this is what I was planning to talk about.
Ever wondered what happens in the studio? Check out Chrissie, Sam and Brownie on Instagram.
Good morning, Melbourne. Chrissie, Sam and Brownie. On Over 100, Tony Martin is in the studio because it's Tuesday.
Yes, I just want to mention big news on the front of the H today. Our submarines may not be ready in time for 2038. Apparently 2038 is too simple.
We're always talking about submarines. We
Yes,
have an issue with submarines in this country, don't we?
Oh, that's right. It says the new government has a new approach to potential aggressors, which is speaking softly while carrying a big stick. Apparently the big stick will not be ready till 2029. It's a very big stick. It's been made in France.
It's already behind schedule.
I remember the Collins class submarines. Remember that was all about Collins class?
Yeah, those were pedal
The
ones,
only,
weren't
the
they?
only submarine I know is Red October. It's the only one I know.
I don't like the idea of it because I must have a bit of claustrophobia. I don't want to be under the sea in a giant metal tic-tac.
No, but if you are under the sea in a submarine, you want to have a Russian who sounds like a Scotsman in charge. We sail into history.
The steady hand.
Have you been paying attention? It was on last night.
Yes.
You are going to be on this Monday's episode.
What? That's right. And I notice also is Guy Montgomery. And I have to say, congratulations paying attention. Keeping New Zealanders in work since 2013. Your
Absolutely.
Zilla Carlsons, your Melanie Bracewells, your Rose Matafeos, and now myself and Guy Montgomery, who I think has been on this show.
When's Rose Matafeo been on?
She's been on. Yeah, we are. Guy Montgomery came in during the comedy festival, though, Brady. He either ran here or rode his bike.
He has,
guy.
I'm assuming
Funny
you would have talked about his podcast.
Yes, he did, actually.
Which is called The Worst Idea of All Time. And obviously you're going, you're making a big claim there. Is it the worst idea of all time? You know what it is? He and another New Zealand comedian, Tim Batt, decided to watch a film they'd never seen, Grown Ups 2 with Adam Sandler, every week for a year.
Yeah.
52 times. And review it. And by the way, they'd never seen Grown Ups 1. And you go, okay, is that a good idea for a podcast? 5 weeks in, they realise they've made a terrible mistake. And by about episode 14, it's the sound of two men having a mental breakdown. And then by 28, there's one where they're completely drunk. And by the end of it, I think they started, like the first episode they just did in their flat in Grey Lynn in Auckland.
Yeah.
By the 52nd episode, they did it in a massive theatre in Los Angeles because it had become a worldwide phenomenon. But then what do you do for a follow-up? They've gone, okay, we've got to watch another film for a year.
Yeah.
And they made the most foolish choice. They've gone with Sex and the City 2.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they've not checked the running time. It's like 2.5 hours.
Oh, my God.
So that genuinely was the worst idea of all time.
I can't put aside 2.5 hours to watch a movie or any television I haven't seen every week. The idea I have to do it for Sex and the City 2 is quite ill-conceived.
Again, having never seen Sex and the City 1 or any of it.
You wouldn't be able to follow
You need plenty of action. I took the kids to watch Top Gun the other day, and that's over 2 hours.
Right.
And I would struggle normally to go 2 hours, but if you got a high-action one, it was great.
Yeah.
Have you seen it, Tone?
I've seen the original. I'd never seen Top Gun, and I was made to watch it for Peter Hellier's podcast.
Oh, was that your one?
And that was
that would be
see
good.
a film you've never seen. And there were a lot of questions about Top Gun. Because there's no war.
No.
There's very little suspense because they're
It was
obviously
the Cold War in 1986.
But they never even say who the quote enemy is. They're too frightened to actually commit to anyone being the bad guy, so it's most confusing.
Top Gun irritated you, Tony Martin.
I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I have to say I've received a lot of hate tweets because of my negative position. But speaking of hatred, Sizzletown, my podcast, which is a talkback, the only talkback podcast, the only live podcast, not quite sure how it's achieved. I've got a clip here from the latest episode, which is out now. And I should warn you, it is quite inflammatory because the callers do tend to get a bit racist.
Okay.
So have a listen to this.
Yes, listen, I'd like to complain.
Right, and what about?
What have you got?
Well, anything you like. Something from
I don't know, what about immigration?
Strong views?
Well, I tell you who we've had move into our bloody neighbourhood is bloody shapeshifters.
Shapeshifters?
That's right, bloody shapeshifters.
Really? I didn't realise.
You can't get a beat on them. They're always shifting shapes, aren't they?
I guess that's what they do.
Yeah, I don't trust them.
So they're constantly changing?
Yeah, one of them was, I think he was like Chinese.
Oh.
And then the next minute he was some shells.
Some shells?
Some bloody shells, yeah, bloody shapeshifters.
Wow, well, that's interesting.
And I'll tell you who else we got, the bloody Thing.
The Thing?
The Thing, yes, you've seen that film.
Oh,
yeah. Well, we got bloody things everywhere here.
Have you?
Yeah, bursting out of people's dogs.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, being on the ceiling in the form of a spider with a human head, that sort of thing.
Well, that's no good.
Bloody things. Send them back, I say.
Anyone else?
We got the Babadook, yeah.
The Babadook?
I said, we don't want your sort here.
No.
Bloody Babadooks. No thanks.
Oh, sorry. It gets a lot more unpleasant after that.
Jeez.
Whoa. It's very offensive. Sorry to any Babadooks listening.
You know how I know that you follow my invasion of privacy on the Daily Mail.
I love your invasion of privacy on the Daily Mail.
On more than one occasion, I've been photographed laughing hysterically, and it's when I'm listening to your podcast.
Right, if you could just wear a sandwich board advertising that back for any of your walks.
I do. It makes me laugh out loud. It's so wonderful. Sizzletown, get on board.
Wherever you get your podcast. Sizzletown.
Thanks, Tone.
Chrissie, Sam and Brownie.
Good morning, Melbourne. Go on a holiday. What if it? It's Aussie for travel. But right now, get on the radio for...
One man, many questions.
Why don't we pronounce the word tomato? Why do we say tomato?
Why, when you have a mint in your mouth, menthol intensifies?
Why are tree trunks brown and leaves green?
Ask Browny.
These are some tough questions, and often you don't have the answers, but it never stops you. You are unstoppable.
I have all the answers, Christine.
All of them.
Wash your mouth out.
Caleb from Leafy Quiet Baldwin. Hello, Caleb.
Caleb!
Hello.
Hi, mate.
Speak
How are
up,
you?
brother. How are you, mate?
How are you guys?
10 out of 10.
You ready to go, Dino?
Oh,
Don't take it out on Caleb. Dino hadn't put him on air.
You can't prove that.
I can. All right, Caleb, take it away.
All right. Thank you. So when my mum is driving her car, should she use heat or cold air to defog her windshield?
Great question.
Great question. You use cold air.
Yes.
Because you need the air conditioner. Well, it works a hell of a lot better with the air conditioning on when you put your demister on.
Yeah.
That little one that goes up.
Yeah.
And defogs the windscreen.
Which goes against logic. You think you're going to need heat, don't you?
No.
Yeah. We usually use heat, but yeah.
It's the heat that causes it. It's the heat that causes the fogginess.
Tell your mum to use the air conditioning to do it, and she won't believe how quickly it dissipates.
You just give it a burst, Caleb. Tell Mum, just give it a quick burst, bang, and then you can turn the heater back on.
Mum, you should use the air conditioner instead of the heat.
Caleb, do you miss Columbo's there in Whitehorse Road? I do.
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
What's Columbo's, Caleb?
So it's like they had really good pizzas and some pasta stuff.
It was an Italian place, yes, ran by a Lebanese family.
Restaurant.
Caleb, you're off to see Minions, Rise of Gru. Minions, Rise of Gru, only in cinemas June 23.
You like
Good
Caleb?
question, though. I like Caleb. It is frustrating, though, when you're trying to warm up, especially in the wintertime, that you have to put the demister on, which means you've got to put the aircon on, Samuel.
I know.
All right, I didn't know that.
Christina, what do you got for us?
I just wonder, why does my son have so much wax coming out his ears, yet other people don't? Like, my daughter doesn't, I don't, my husband doesn't. He's very waxy.
Question. Some people are waxier than others. Why, Brownie?
How do you know that, Christina?
Because I always clean them because it irritates me seeing any orange around his ears.
I had a big wax ball in my ear the other night.
Yeah.
On air.
What?
On air. I thought, geez, this doesn't feel comfortable. So I went for it, Sam.
Sam doesn't like it.
What are you on telly, just grabbing wax out of your ear?
Well, it was off-putting.
What was Gaz doing?
Well, because I had the earpiece in.
Yeah.
I thought that just doesn't feel right. It might have been, Dermy's wax or Chief's wax from previous waxes.
Kingy's wax. Jared's wax.
I can handle Jared's wax. I'm not sure about Kingy's wax. Don't know where he's been.
Can I ask something about earwax?
please.
And I've never asked anybody, have you ever had, like, you look around like, oh my God, what's happening? The sky is falling, but it's inside your head and it's a ball of wax rolling out of your ear hole?
No.
Like
wax just rolling out of your ear down your cheek.
No. It just rolls and sits there. But it's like, you know, when the lottery balls come out, it feels like that. Or, you know, that big ball in that Harrison Ford film, Indiana Jones, when he's chasing it. It feels like that in your ear canal. Has that ever happened to anyone? It's happened to Andy.
Christina?
It's so weird.
Might want to see someone about that, Swanee.
Christina, do you know what Swanee's talking about?
No.
Yeah, definitely see a doctor.
Why does Christina's son have more earwax than the other kids, Brownie?
I believe his ear cavities are smaller than usual.
That 100% feels correct. No further questions, please.
Let's go to Kim now. Kim in Geelong.
Hey, guys.
Jeez, sorry, Christina.
What do you got for us, Kim?
Question for Brownie. Why does Australia's seasons change on the 1st of the month, where most other countries change on a solstice? So, for example, the 21st of June is the start of summer.
It's just less confusing for us, Kim.
That was the perfect answer. Well done, Jonathan. Next caller.
Clint.
Wow.
Clint, what do you got for us?
Just for Brownie, I was wondering, because he's a Nova Fox commentator, I was just wondering, with all you guys in the box, how do you know who speaks and when they call out the game?
Here's a bit of craft for you, Brownie. When you're in the commentary box, how do you know who's about to speak and whose turn is it to speak? Is there signals? Is there a designated time?
It's a very good call, Clint. It's a bit easier for the special comments guys because we don't talk as much. But the play-by-play callers, if there is two there, which often there is in radio, not as much on TV, they tap each other on the shoulder. And when now we have to commentate remotely. Sometimes I was watching the other night, Anthony Hudson was in a room here in Melbourne. Adam Papalea was in the commentary box at Optus Stadium. They've got a little TV screen so they can see each other. And the other one puts their finger up when it's time that he's about to handball the ball over in commentary terms. So there you go. So we don't speak over each other, which is horrific for the viewer.
I've got a quick question. Does a special comments person get paid the same as the main caller, considering the main caller does like most of the work?
Well, it depends who it is, I suppose. Don't you think, Sam?
Lingy and Duck, same pay?
Well, I would have thought the Friday night is the marquee game. So if you get a spot on Friday nights, that would be seen as the marquee slot as a caller. So work it out from there.
All I'm saying is when you're doing your special comments and you say 4 words a quarter, you shouldn't be getting paid the same as the main caller.
I wouldn't have thought so, Sam. It's the value of the word.
What a nice exchange. A $200 Gammy chicken and beer voucher for everyone that chipped in. Try Gammy.
Gammy.
Oh.
Gammy.
Try Gammy.
It's tasty.
Hey, I'm going to read that. Hey, what is it?
Gammy.
It's Gammy.
Gets Gammy.
Jack?
Gammy.
Dino is right. It's Gammy.
It's Gammy.
Try Gammy Chicken and Beer's newest and tastiest
He
dish
said Gammy.
yet.
I said
The Galby Chicken Psalm. Kill me now. Well done, John.
Well done.
Ever wondered what happens in the studio? Check out Chrissie, Sam and Brownie on Instagram.
Chrissie, Sam and Brownie on Nova 100, and we're all eating cookies in here.
Everyone's obsessed in this country and over the ditch with the Coles Ultimate. This is not an ad, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
These are like an iconic cookie, 40% chocolate chip cookies. They're dark chocolate cookies. Everyone's obsessed with them. They're often sold out. And now I know why. There's been a video on TikTok, I believe it was, of a guy at a supermarket, a New Zealand guy, heading back home from Australia, back over the ditch to New Zealand, with a whole trolley with nothing in it but boxes of these Ultimate Coles brand cookies. They're that good. So the video was posted. It went viral.
It was a virus.
It was a virus. It's a cookie virus. But apparently this is de rigueur. Somebody said, I'm dead. I work for an airline at the airport and almost everyone going back to New Zealand has at least one suitcase full of these. Really? They're the Pop Rocks of the 80s. Remember if you had a friend who went to America, you'd be like, can you get me some Pop Rocks?
Krispy Kreme donuts.
Krispy Kreme
Take them
donuts
back
when
to-
you went to Sydney, yes. So this has been going on for ages, but I just love that the Humble Coles cookie is hot property and suitcases of them are being flown back to New Zealand. The guy that had the trolley full of these cookies joins us now. Hello, MJ.
Hello.
How many Hello, darling. How many boxes were in that trolley?
There was about like 30.
30 boxes.
Yeah.
MJ, who were they for, MJ?
Oh no, it wasn't for me. It was for my family. That's yeah.
You're not selling them at the local markets, are you? You're not making cash on it, MJ.
Oh, but that's a good idea. That's actually a good idea.
How long's 30 boxes going to last the family, MJ?
Oh, it's already gone. It's already demolished.
Mate. What are you, a putt?
I'm like,
what's wrong with you, Sam?
Polished them off.
When did you arrive home in New Zealand? How long did it take for the 30 boxes to go?
I got to New Zealand on Monday this week.
Yesterday?
You got a big family.
Oh. No, last week, sorry.
Right.
So yeah.
How many
eating the cookies while we speak to.
How many in the family, MJ?
Oh, but it's a whole family.
It's a lot.
Like probably, yeah, it's a lot.
And what is it about these cookies that you love, and where were you when you first tried them?
So these cookies, my family, they used to get to Australia. They used to go and then come back with these cookies.
Yeah.
And every time when it's like a tradition when people go to Australia, that's what they ask for. To bring back.
Did you have to buy a brand new suitcase to fill them with cookies?
Yeah, I had to add extra luggage on to my cookies.
The cookie case.
MJ, when you get home, do you declare them at customs?
No, you just go straight through. They just apparently they just let you just go through.
Really?
Apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
MJ, do you have a history of diabetes in the family?
No.
Right on,
Oh, that's something to look forward to.
No, they're good. They've got the coconut in there. MJ,
yeah.
Is this a regular thing for you? Do you just how often would you come to Australia just to stock up on the ultimate cookies from Coles?
No, this was my actually first time because this was my first time in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I might as well take the chance while I'm here.
He's a cookie mule.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're not declaring them, you're sneaking them through customs.
Absolutely.
Well, MJ...
You're going to have to wear a disguise next time, MJ, because we've outed you on the radio here as a cookie mule.
You're a cookie mule, but the last thing is that if you've got nothing, there's no equivalent. There's nothing that compares to these cookies, MJ, that you can't possibly not take them home.
Yeah, everybody in New Zealand just goes crazy for these.
I love
Goes
it.
crazy.
It's like your noodles, man. You had to have those noodles.
That's true. It's true. Sam had to have some noodles.
Hey, MJ, all the best with life and future cookie eating.
Yeah, and you know, good luck coming back and not going to jail for extortion and cookie mule behaviour.
That'll be the funniest crime ever.
Chrissie, Sam and Brownie, Ripper Show will be back tomorrow. Chrissie, Sam and Brownie, unless it's a weekend.
Over 100.